A warm Iona Abbey welcome to all of you who are joining us this evening. This is our Advent offerings from the Iona Community, and we're calling it a hopeful Advent. The strategic plan that the Iona Community adopted that is beginning this year and is going to be going on for several years has the theme of rooted in hope, lived in community. And so this Advent season, we're making available a wide variety of offerings around the themes of waiting and hope. We are hoping that the resources that we offer you will strengthen your resilience and your responsiveness during these challenging times. This is just one of 4 sessions that we are offering for While We Are Waiting Embodied Advent. This evening and on December 18th, there will be live Zoom opportunities. And then in between, you will receive each week a recorded practice for you to do on your own time. This is our opportunity to invite you into a space where all of you is welcome, body, mind, and spirit, so that we may strengthen our muscles of hope and include our bodies in our Advent spiritual practices. So Fiona, I just want to make sure, have you pinned me?
I believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Let me just double check that.
All right. So joining me in helping bring this event this night are 2 folks. And the first person is Fiona, and I'd like you to introduce yourself and give your spiel for our participants.
Hi everyone, I am Fiona. Give me a second, I'll just highlight myself, that would be helpful. There we are. Hi, I'm Fiona. I'm the membership administrator with the community. If anyone has any problems, then please get in contact with me through the chat. If you know of anybody that can't get in, then please get them to contact me at fiona@iona.org.uk. And that's for any of these sessions. I'll be available during and after if anybody needs anything. We are recording this session, so if you do not wish to be part of that, then please let me know. You can also have your screens on or off. That is completely up to you. We are going into breakout rooms. If you cannot be in part of one of the breakout rooms, then that's okay as well. I'll still be about. And I think that's everything, Sharon.
Yes. Okay. And also joining me is Pauline.
Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. I don't know if Fiona could highlight me as well, just so that
I think you are highlighted.
Am I? Yeah. Okay. Good. So everybody can see me. Great. So greetings. I'm Pauline Steenbergen, and I'm in Carlisle, in Cumbria, in the north of England, 168 miles away from Iona, Sharon. So it feels like a long way away. Sharon and I met through my book, which was published by Iona Books this year, called Embodied in 29 Yoga Postures. She reached out and it was clear we had a lot in common. I'm a Church of Scotland minister and she's a Presbyterian minister. And we're both spiritual directors. We're both yoga teachers. And so it was clear there was a reason for our paths to intersect. And we've been in touch since then a lot, and it was a joy to collaborate on this gathering with you all tonight. That's a little bit about me, but we're here because we're very interested in you and what draws you all individually and together to explore embodiment, to explore embodying hope. We do want to dive more deeply into the topic, and Sharon's going to take the lead on that tonight. But more than anything, it wouldn't be an embodied gathering if we didn't have a practice. So this is an offering, it's an invitation, and you can join in with me now or simply observe or listen or watch. And you can have your screen on or off, it is your choice. the other choices are that you could stand for the practice that I'm about to lead you in. You could kneel, you could sit, you could lie down, or you could find a posture in which you are most comfortable. So find a place to be so that your sitting bones are rooted into the ground, or perhaps your feet are planted on the earth. So standing or sitting or kneeling or lying down, choose a place to be on the earth where you are. And once you're there, connect body to earth. Consciously become more aware of the touching points between your body and the ground where you are. And then draw upwards from those touching points to the ground, to the floor, and look down at one hand, two hands, and bring one hand to your belly, if that's okay for you, and the other hand to your heart center. And either closing your eyes to draw inwards or having your eyes open, looking beyond the screen, gently gazing to a spot in your space. Maybe it's a door, maybe it's a window covered with a blind or curtains. Maybe it's a wall, maybe it's an object that has some meaning for you in your space. Find your point for your vision, for your eyes. Your hands are on your belly and on your heart center. The lower half of your body is connected to the ground, to the earth. Take 30 seconds to settle, using all your senses. Eyes, ears. There will be distractions, there always are. What do you hear? Are there any smells? Is there anything you can taste? Maybe you've eaten recently. Maybe you're aware of thirst. And what can you feel? Under the hand, over your heart space, under the hand, over your belly. Can you draw your thinking mind to your breathing? That soft rise and fall, open and close of the heart space and the belly as you breathe. In this practice, we simply acknowledge our space, our body, our context, our minds, with awareness of everyone else also in this space online. And if you'd like to join me, the phrases are simple and they help us acknowledge one another, known and unknown. The three phrases are: I am here, you are here, we are here. Saying the words either quietly internally or out loud. I am here. You are here. We are here. Twice more. I am here. You are here. We are here. I am here. You are here. We are here. And if your eyes are closed, you might like to open them. You might like to wriggle your fingers, your toes. Make a little bit more movement, whether that's stretch, twist, a bend. For any time in this hour, you can walk about, you can step away, step back and do what feels best for you. I'm going to hand over to Sharon now, who's going to dive a little bit more deeply into what is embodiment and what might embodying hope mean. Could it mean, does it mean, what are the opportunities tonight? Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you. One of my favorite expressions is a relaxed body is an open and receptive mind and heart. Let's see. So, Fiona, I'm not sure if I'm highlighted right now.
You should be, I've just done it.
Okay. So I've neglected to introduce myself. My name is Sharon Edwards. I have been serving as Deputy Program Director here at Iona Abbey over the last 2 years. And my visa will be up in January, end of January, and I will be headed back home to Oregon in the United States. And as I grieve leaving, I am very grateful for the time that I have had here. So right now I'm looking at Fiona.
You are pinned.
I am pinned.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder why it's showing me you then. There we go. There I am. Thank you. You're welcome. So for just a little bit, we're going to, I have some slides to take you through as we explore. Let's see. Here we go. As we explore while we are waiting, embodying hope. So one of our invitations in this series is to explore embodied spirituality. And in embodied spirituality, it is the practice of not only understanding faith with your mind, but also anchoring it in your human being, meaning your body as well. Embodiment is the step that makes it a practical, lived, spiritual experience in your body. So I'm just gonna stop here for a minute because you guys are in the way there. There we go. All right. So I'd like to begin with a few theological and biblical affirmations that God made all of us. We are told so we can experience the presence of God in the fullness of our humanity. Also, we know this to be true, that our mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional health are interrelated. So knowledge of how the body and mind work can be empowering for our health. Some of us have forgotten the wisdom of the body, and many of us are indigenous cultures and folks from the eastern part of the world are reminding us of that again and again. And Advent is all about the Word made flesh, God putting on skin, Word made flesh, dwelling among us, full of grace and truth. So for a moment, let's consider what makes waiting so difficult, hard, and even sometimes painful for most of us. Also, what blocks us from experiencing, inhabiting, sharing, and embodying hope? Well, our bodies, the fearfully and marvelously, wonderfully made bodies that we read about in the Psalms, that our bodies can make waiting difficult and can make having hope be difficult. So for a moment, we're going to take a brief, fast and quick overview of how you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And just a reminder that sometimes when we talk about our bodies, we might feel a bit uncomfortable. So I invite you to listen to yours. If you need to take deep breaths or get up and walk around, and remember that this is being recorded, so it's something that you can watch later on. So here we go. One of the parts of our bodies that makes it difficult to wait or difficult to hope is our nervous systems. Our nervous system controls everything that we do, our breathing, our moving, our thinking, our feeling, our remembering. And our nervous system includes the brain and spinal cord, as well as those nerves that are all over our body. And the nerves carry messages to and from the brain. And the brain then interprets those messages and takes action. Now, our nervous system, we are told, has 4 essential needs: connection, activation, which is also known as stimulation and movement, rest, and safety. And above all, the brain is most concerned about safety. Our nervous system is constantly gathering information from our 5 senses to determine if we are safe. Now, the brain feels very threatened by, and often does not feel safe, when we are experiencing the following things: change, even if the change is positive; stress; loss, even if the loss to us seems small and insignificant; conflict, as well as an unknown, like waiting is. Will she or will he? Will it happen or not happen? What are the results? Our brain feels threatened by all of these very common human occurrences. So when the brain does not feel safe, the nervous system gets even more active. And one of the helpful ways we examine that activity is using the terms of red zone, green zone, and blue zone. So let's explore those just for a moment. First, the green zone. In the green zone, we are calm and safe. We feel connected to others and to ourselves. We are present, and we have the ability to be compassionate. This is the space where our immunities are good, our heart rate is awesome, as so is our blood pressure. And these are some of the exercises for some human beings that keep us or lead us or cultivate our abilities to be in the green zone. Oh, that we could live there all the time, but being humans, we do not. One of the places our nervous system goes to and when our brain does not feel safe is what we call the red zone. Some of you may have heard of this being called the flight or fight area, where we have concern, which ramps up to fear, to perhaps panic and anxiety, or the urge to fight, where it could start as just an irritation or a frustration and amp up to anger and to rage. In this red zone, our brain pumps extra chemicals coursing through our bodies, and we feel this, and we know what this kind of feels like. Perhaps you do. Some of us go to the red zone when our nervous system is activated, and some of us go to the blue zone. In the blue zone is the opposite. We feel that we are frozen. We feel helpless. We feel numb. Perhaps we even feel some depression. Also in the blue zone, we might feel the pressure to please. And we might feel shame, or we might feel trapped that we don't have choices that we can make. Now, being human means that we are capable in being in all of these zones. And I want to make it clear that the red and blue zone are extremely important. There are warning signs to us that something isn't right. Things are out of alignment. The challenge comes when we live in the red and the blue zones, or we go there when we don't really need to. And oftentimes our ability to go to these red and blue zones most of the time have been influenced by our personality interacting with our environment throughout our lives. But what happens when we go to the red and the blue zone too often? If we stay in or often flee to the states of fight, flight, or freeze, we know through brain neuroscience that we lose our capacity for compassion and empathy. The part of our brain, the insula, that is responsible for compassion and empathy is not accessible. We also lose our ability for rational thought and emotional regulation. We can't think through what is going on and what the steps might be to help us, or the fact that we have resources or tools or people we can call on. And finally, we also know that when we're in the red and blue zone, we lose our ability for creative problem solving. So, as I mentioned earlier, our bodies, the fearfully and marvelously made bodies, may make it difficult for us to wait and to have hope. But it also is part of our cure. We know through medical research that the body listens to the brain, that a lot of times the ways that we think and ruminate can affect our physical health. But more and more, it is being affirmed through science that the brain also listens to the body. And we have this amazing, gorgeous apparatus in our body called the vagus nerve. It starts up in the crown of our brain and goes throughout all of these places, as you can see. I promise I won't give you a test on them, but see how it goes through our throat and our mouth, down into our heart and our lungs, and all the way into our digestive tract. And this is the nerve that helps move us into that green zone, that space of connection and presence. And what we now know is that 80% of the vagus nerve brings messages from the body back into the brain. And when the body can tell the brain it's okay, then the brain takes a deep breath and a sigh of relief and helps move us back into the green zone. So this is a little bit more simplified version, a lot easier to see, that this is why using the body matters and works when we think about our emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual health. Now, if I were to ask you, what are some of the spiritual practices that you already have in your toolbox that involve the body? I'm certain that one of the first things you would say is singing. Singing stimulates the vagus nerves that runs through our tongue and our mouths and our vocal cords. And we now know that when people sing for at least 7 minutes together, their heart rates sync up and there is an overall experience of well-being. Perhaps humming and chanting. We know that when we chant, we have a different experience in our nervous system than when using hymns. Hymns are wonderful and we sing about God, and it often involves our intellect and thinking through. That's the thought part of our faith. But when we chant the same tune, the same words over and over again, for most of us, that can be very soothing to our nervous system. Our body settles into the rhythm with others that might be chanting with us. Sighing, humming. And as I have noticed here in England, we drink up Scotland, whoops, in the UK, we drink a lot of tea. So warm beverages perhaps can be calming to our nervous system as well. And then if we move down throughout the rest of the body, the lungs and the heart, we know when we are intentional about our breathing, when we exercise, that stimulates our heart and our lungs. And then when we move down to our digestive tract, when we stretch and bend and do what we call spinal twists, but also this has to do with the kind of food that we eat. We do know that certain kind of foods can pull us into the red zone when we don't want to really be there. But we also know that placing our hands upon our belly and around that area can be calming and helpful as well to our nervous system. Now, there is one piece that's missing a little bit. I had a 90-year-old gentleman come through last summer and reminded me that kissing and hugging are also things, providing you like those things, are also things that can calm and soothe us and bring us into the green zone. Now, the body and the brain can develop new ways to experience difficult situations, as most of us are well acquainted with red and blue zones. But it does take time and practice and awareness. This is a loving reminder that if you have a hard time waiting, if you've lost hope, if whenever you experience challenges, it is not about your character, nor is it about the quality of your faith, but more about how we have been shaped by our past experiences. And this is the root of what we are offering you during this Advent season, practicing tools from our faith tradition that include the body, can help us to be more skillful when we want to return to a green state, where we are present with ourselves, God, and others. Now, this is up because it has implications for us as people who want to live out God's purposes in the world. That when we can cultivate a space in the green zone, we're more able to hear God's calling and voice We're more able to think through creative solutions for the areas in which we are passionate. And we are more able to sustain our activism in the long run when it comes from a place of connection. You know, perhaps one of the best gifts that embodied spirituality offers us, our willingness to honor our bodies and its place in our lives, our willingness to hear what it might say to us. Perhaps its greatest gift is that it invites us into the present. You know, our minds can race backwards and ruminate around what could have, should have been. And our minds can race forward into what might be. But is when we bring our minds in alignment to where our feet and our hands are, we are in the present moment. And friends, isn't the one for whom we wait and long for already present now? And isn't the hope that we so desperately need already available to us now? We become what we practice. So the invitation to you in these days and weeks ahead is to embody your Advent, to become aware of its gifts for you as we wait in hope together.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm processing all of that. It's a lot. And please remember, everyone, there is a recording. You can go back and go through that all again. And a lot of theology, philosophy, neuroscience, polyvagal theory. So thank you. But also enabling us to ask some quite deep questions. That's what we'd like to offer you all now. Time to process what you've heard individually and or together if you'd like to. Time to talk to others in a breakout room about what might have come up for you so far. And if you're a step ahead of that already and you're thinking about the embodied practices that you already use in your daily life, share something about that. But it's up to you. There's no agenda for this breakout room time, and there's no outcomes required. We're not asking you to feedback. It's just so that you can have a conversation with others if you'd like to around the content that you're encountering. So over to Fiona to make this happen. We think there's probably 3 minutes per person. And if you're happy to just make sure that it's equally shared, the time between each other, and then we'll call you back. We're hoping to call you back, in about 12 to 14 minutes. The time is yours. Or reflect individually where you are. Doodle, write, take a break. Use this as you'd like to. Ready? It's always good when people come back. Welcome back. So we're not going to have any plenary session. We're not looking for feedback. We just really hope you had some interesting conversations and some good connections. And remember, if you do want to comment or put anything in the chat, if you have any questions which you'd like followed up either by Sharon or myself, then pop them in the chat before 8 o'clock when we close. And also my email address and Sharon's email address will be made available to you. Somebody's having trouble hearing. Can most of you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So our emails will be made available should you want to contact us individually. Sharon that now. And I'll put mine in as well before 8 o'clock. So next steps, is everybody back? Fiona, do you think we're all back? Ah, there's my email there as well. Everybody back, Fiona? Yeah, okay, great. So the next steps, this is an ongoing exploration, embodying hope in Advent. So we've got 4 weeks. Advent starts Sunday, traditionally for us here in the West. Advent's already begun in the Eastern Orthodox Church, as has Celtic Advent too. If you're looking for an interesting book about Celtic Advent, I recommend one by Christine Sign, who's in Seattle. Her blog is called Godspace, and I'll put that in the chat at the end. Just remembering that there's more than one experience of Advent as well to make our lives even more complex. Christine Sign, Godspace, thank you. So next steps are, we'll close this part of the series shortly at 8 o'clock. Sharon will close. And then you'll receive an email with the recording, the link from tonight. That'll be available probably by the end of the week if you want to redo this hour again at any time. You can have that for as long as you like. And then next week there will be a video with there'll be an email with a video. So it's a video which will be on the theme of waiting. Sharon is creating that for you, and you'll have that available, and you can practice that in your own time. You could practice it with someone else in a group. You could practice it by yourself, indoors, outdoors, just in whatever way makes most sense for you where you are. The week after that, you'll also get another video, and that's been created by myself and my husband Steve in Carlisle in our kitchen, and it's on the theme of hope. And again, it's for you to use as you'd like to. Following that is the final part of the series, and it's on the 18th of December. It's a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. It's a live Zoom like this one, and there won't be as much theory as there is tonight. It will be all about you and you encountering each other again in the breakout rooms and also in plenary session, to get your feedback, to get your experiences, your reflection about how embodying hope in Advent has been for you this year. If you're not comfortable speaking in a small group or in a plenary session, that's fine. You can send us some questions or feedback before that final one, and we can offer that to the group on your behalf. So there's going to be lots of ways that you can contribute if you want to, but that's the way we're going. That's the flow. I hope that's been clear. If not, again, put some questions in the chat. And if you are someone who's getting more and more deeply into embodiment generally in your life, in your spiritual life, then we'd love to hear from you. Or there's also 2 opportunities in the programme on Iona Abbey next year. In April, I'm leading a week Embodied Lent, and Sharon and others might be leading a week called Word Made Flesh. So have a look at the Iona website for 2 opportunities to draw together with other people in Iona Abbey around the theme of embodiment. I think that's all, Sharon. What have I forgotten? Over to you.
I think that's everything. And actually the email that you got with this Zoom link, already has the link that will send you to the recording, and it will be posted, yes, by the end of the week. We did put our emails in, and we are hoping to, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact us. And I don't see that I'm highlighted, Fiona. Am I wrong?
You're pinned, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do a practice here at the end. And there's going to be a couple of options for you. So I invite you to put your hand in that heart center place once again, and perhaps this is the practice that you can do between now and next Wednesday when you receive the video. So let's bring both hands to the heart center. And for a moment, I'm going to invite you to, you can either close your eyes or gaze at something gently down and in front of you. And you're invited to actually remember the vagal nerve is in this heart lung area, to go ahead and rub that chest area, make it warm, maybe even as some gentle patting, so you can really feel the kindness of your hand, just rubbing that area, that heart space. And then come to a stillness and put one hand on top of the other. And then sending your breath to that space, that heart space. And notice, make sure your shoulders are relaxed, your jaw is relaxed, your eyebrows are relaxed. They all like to get in on the action. But if you can invite them to have a softness. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you a question, and I just invite you to allow whatever comes up to come up. What do you need while you wait in hope? What do you need while you're waiting in hope? I'll ask the question one more time. What are you needing as you're waiting in hope? Now we're going to create a breath prayer with that. The word that came to me was courage. So as I breathe in, I will say to myself, I have. And then as I exhale, I will say courage. So when we think about praying, God, give me courage, this embodied exercise is an affirmation of faith that I already have what I need. And so whatever occurred to you, say to yourself as you breathe in, I have. And then as you exhale, whatever it is that your heart needs while you are waiting. As you slowly inhale, and then as you exhale. And then you may add one more thing if you'd like. You can rock gently from side to side. Or you can rock forward and back, whichever one feels good for your body. And it's not a big motion, it's just a very soft, gentle, slow motion. And maybe as you breathe in, you're headed one direction, and as you breathe out, you're headed in another direction. One side, then the other, or forward and back. And now just let the words go, but continue the rocking and the breathing. I am here. You are here. We are here. Waiting in hope. If you've been rocking, go ahead and bring your body to stillness. Take a nice full deep breath in and exhale. If your eyes have been closed, slowly open them. And then bring your hands to heart center. And we've asked Fiona to unpin us, and maybe you can make sure your computer's on gallery view so that then you can bow to each other. Turn your phone on if you would like. Bow to each other and thank each other for joining together as we wait in hope. And then if you want to wave crazily at some of the people that you know, feel free to do that as well. Peace be with you all, and we will see you again.
Peace be with you. Enjoy the videos and interact with us. We'd love that. Bye,
Yes.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.